What's up, all my Ewoks, triples, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Star Trek Lower Decks Episode 3. Now, last week when I did my review for Episode 2, I said it got fucking worse than Episode 1. Now, please, before I get into this, heed the warning. It says it on every single video. My channel and my content are not for children. Same goes with this video, also goes with this fucking episode. This show is not for children, even though what's-his-face, Alex Kurtzman, said, oh yeah, this is intended to get children excited about Star Trek. Well, guess what? When I was a fucking child, I was watching Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock go on adventures, help save planets, save aliens, come solutions to all of these different types of scientific problems. Guess what? I was a kid, and I got excited about it. When my father was a kid, when it was premiering, like before anyone even knew anything about Star Trek, and he was watching it live coming out on TV. He was a kid and getting excited about it. Now this shit, it's not fucking Star Trek. Everything in this episode, like I honestly thought it couldn't get worse. And if it gets worse than this episode, they shouldn't be allowed to have Star Trek in the name, because this is fucking ridiculous. So, it's one of those episodes where there's an A plot and there's a B plot. And, there's different things going on. So, this episode has sexual innuendos up the fucking wazoo. There's cursing. There's, I don't know if they just don't know that the way that Star Trek handles these kind of things and handles things like violence, things like sex, things like drugs or drug addictions. But guess what? Star Trek did, and they did it in a great way. But also, you would have to know that by watching the fucking show. And all they'd have to do is go, hey, we're in fucking COVID. Maybe go take a fucking week and go watch all the shows. Go binge watch them. You're literally getting paid for doing your job and doing the fucking research. But no, that's too fucking hard to learn about their own IP. To learn, oh my gosh, hey, guess what? Opening is that the ship was supposed to go to Cardassia. And they're supposed to go to Cardassia to do these peace talks. But guess what? It got moved to Vulcan, so it's canceled. So the captain is pissed. And the reason why the admiral gave that it's canceled, you're not going to Cardassia, is because nobody wants to go there because it's boring. Cardassians are weird. It's like, all right, if you watch Star Trek, you would know that it's very rare that a human is allowed into Cardassia. And usually you have to sneak over, because guess what? They were in a fucking war! Did you not watch DS9? Did you not watch The Next Generation? Did you not watch the beginning of fucking Voyager? To know, even, there are 4 lights, and him talking about it, and how humans aren't allowed there because they're at fucking war. Do you know how big of an impact that would be to have them actually going to Cardassia? But no, it's boring. The Federation, we don't want to do it. Let's do it on Vulcan, a planet we've had access to for hundreds of fucking years. And I'm like, oh my god, do you not remember Captain McCord, when he was tortured, talking to that dude, that one Cardassian, about Captain McCord being an archaeologist and loving archaeology and wanting to, all the amazing things that are, in the Cardassian sector of space. But no, right off the bat, that was in like the first minute of this fucking show. And then, so the rest of it is all about how, or this one subplot. So this is subplot B, ironically, or I guess subplot A. It's actually hard to tell what the main purpose of this fucking episode was. So this is purple-haired dude's arc in this episode. So it's always going to be purple-haired dude, and then the Mariner chick. One of the worst characters ever fucking invented. I hate this character. There's something that happens to this character in this episode. I'm like, I don't wish pain or violence upon any human, but I was very happy when this character was stabbed in the fucking foot. I'm like, fucking yes, you should have made it go all the way through. But so anyways, purple-haired dude they're doing all of their duties, and they're in lower decks, so they're doing bullshit shit. And it's like, these are things that machines, it doesn't take an entire team to test how the force field, or the shields work, or the force fields work in the brig. It doesn't take an entire team. It takes maybe one fucking person to do that with a tricorder. It doesn't take the Mariner, the purple-haired dude, the green chick, and then the cyborg dude. It doesn't take all of them. The cyborg dude could have done that. And then they introduce this thing about how they have free time. So they say, oh yeah, it's actually going to take me 5 hours to do this, but it really takes me 1 hour, so that way I can have some, some chill time, so we can drink margaritas. because we're all gonna drink while we're on, while we're on the fucking ship. Wow, that's not, something that can get you in a huge amount of trouble. That's not something that could get you thrown off the ship in Starfleet. And again, this is Starfleet. It's very difficult to get into Starfleet, which I do not think that they are aware. And, people, basically push themselves to the very limit. And if you watch the fucking Next Generation, you would know that. If you watched any Starfleet, only the best of the best, the elite of humanity, get into Starfleet. Same with, any other species that wants to come into Starfleet. But anyways, they don't care about that, so they all just want to lie about the time and goof off. And then the captain finds out, so she puts everyone on the psycho schedule, and so they're all running around going, ah! And apparently the purple-haired dude is the only one that can do things on time. And so that's one of the fucking subplots. The other subplot is because they didn't get to go to the peace talks that were going to be on Cardassia that got moved to Vulcan, they have to go to this one planet full of aliens, like Martians that worship fucking crystals, who are at war with another planet of aliens that you don't see that worship wood. And so, as somebody that actually likes science fiction and that has read science fiction books and watched science fiction movies and shows, as I'm watching this, I'm like, I don't even think that they're realizing, or that they realize that they're ripping off John Carter of Mars. Because you meet these green Martians that worship crystals. Now, the Martians don't necessarily worship crystals in John Carter, but they have different crystals on there that you get introduced later on in the novels. But anyways, Mariner and the first officer dude go down to the ship with the team, and everyone's exhausted because for the past week and a half, they've been running around like freaking crazy because now the captain has them on insane deadline. So everyone's exhausted, and everyone's fucking everything up. So that has to do with the other thing with the purple hair dude. And so they're bringing to these aliens who are joining the Federation, and this made my blood fucking boil. It is extremely fucking difficult to get accepted into the Federation because you have to be at a certain level of advancement, not only in technology, but in society. Bajorans, Bajor, were not accepted into the Federation. This is a huge theme and problem within DS9, if you actually fucking watched it. And how Bajorans wanted to enter the Federation, and they said, no, you guys are not ready. You were just occupied by Cardassia. You were in the middle of a war. You guys have too much vengeance. There's too many things that are social. You have too many social problems within your society. You're not ready to join the Federation. But apparently, this planet full of aliens that worship fucking rocks already, that basically in the Stone Age, you don't see any type of technology whatsoever, except their spears have those crystal spears have little things. But so these aliens, these primitive aliens that still have arenas, again, ripped off of John Carter from Mars, green Martians that fight each other with spears in an arena are ready, and they're at the level of sophistication and technological advancements and society advancements to join Starfleet. Or, excuse me, to join the United Federation of Planets. Are you fucking kidding me? And so it's the first officer and the mariner and all the entire crew. But guess what? One of the crew members, he's so tired that he brought wood instead of a crystal. So the green Martians lose their fucking shit. They're like, you brought wood? How fucking dare you? You dishonor us. Attack! And it's like, they're pissed. If they were ready to join the United Federation of Planets, they would say, oh, okay, we understand you're tired. There was a misunderstanding where, they might be offended. They might be snooty, because a lot of species are. And, but they would let them fix it. They wouldn't immediately attack, capture everyone, lock them up in cages, and then say, one of you has to fight big, hulking green Martian dude. You have to fight him in the arena. Fight us to the death. Yay, crystal people. Wee. But that's what they do. So they're in the cage, and then she starts coming on to him. The way that she is talking down to him the exact same way that fucking Holdo did to Poe. So then she starts taking off her clothes, showing, look at my scar, look at my scar. See, I got all of these because I wasn't following the rules, and fuck Starfleet, fuck all their rules. And it's like, bitch, if you don't fucking like Starfleet, just because your mother is a captain, your father is an admiral, if you hate it that fucking much, then leave it. Guess what? Wesley did that. If you actually watched the Next Generation, if you actually watch the show, if you actually watch the stuff, the IP, all of the, source material that this show was based off of, you would fucking know this shit. So she doesn't have to be in Starfleet if she doesn't fucking want to. If she's just there for the free ride, then get the fuck out. Her parents should know better at this point. There are people that would literally put anything to be in Starfleet, anything to get that opportunity, because there are a lot of people that do not make the fucking cut. But then here she is, she's basically just using this so that way she can travel around and just fuck shit up, fuck everything. That's the way that this character is. So the way that she's talking to him, it's like she's putting him down, and this is, I swear, this scene, this entire thing was made by people that have never had sex in their life and don't know what flirting is, because it's just like, the way that she's like coming on to him and that he's like, it's just the most weird. There's not even sexual tension, it's just tension because they are trying to force sexual tension into the situation where there is none. There is none. It's her ripping off her shirt and like the animator has his eyes look down at like her bra, and I'm just like, every single episode, they're just having people get out of their clothes. You know, the dude got his pants off. They were both in, you know, their bra and undies in the first damn episode, and now it's her flirting with the first officer dude, and she even like puts him down. Oh yeah, you have the nice hair, and he's basically the stand-in for Kirk, and for this character, this whammon character, to put down toxic masculinity. But then as she's fighting with him, she's like, oh, this is kind of hot, like, because he stabs her in the foot, and I'm like, yes, fucking do it, bro. You're my new favorite character in the show, if you can even say I have it. Out of all of the characters that I hate or I dislike, which is all of them, you are the least one that I dislike. You know, this is all the way down on the list, because you stabbed this bitch through the fucking foot, because she's like, I'm gonna fight him, this is all my scars, this is why I should go in the arena, and I should fight the Green Martian man. And so he stabs her in the foot, and he's like, I would rather die than let you go out there and fight this battle. So I'm like, alright, this guy's got some, he's a fucking idiot, but he's got some redeeming qualities. And so he rips off his shirt, and he's all yoked, and he's all handsome, and, you know, he's the kind of dude, like the masculine, the typical toxic male, toxic masculinity. He's the embodiment of that. And also, he's a fucking idiot, which is what these people think all men are like. I'm sorry to break it to you, but just because a man is well built, because he cares about his health and he cares about his body, and he does his hair and he holds himself to higher standards, does not mean he's a fucking idiot. Do you see Commander Riker? Do you see Jean-Luc Picard? Do you see Mr. Spock? Captain Kirk? All of the men in Starfleet? Fucking Cisco? Do you think all of those men, you know, are stupid because they're men, because they're strong, you know, A personality type of men? No! So why the fuck is your first officer supposed to be that stand-in for toxic masculinity? It's because they're all fucking sexist pigs that have never had sex in their fucking life, so they're trying to force down the sexual tension by having this chick put down this man to call out, you know, toxic masculinity, but at the same time, oh, I'm into him now because I'm watching him, he threw his sword away and now he's fighting, like, physically just with his fist against this Martian. Ooh, that's hot. It's like, what the fuck? And again, she cusses in this too. I'm like, Alex Kurtzman said that this is for children, to get children excited about Star Trek, and she's ripping off of her clothes, insulting him, then getting turned on by violence. What the fuck? Like, I'm an adult and this shit isn't for me. That's not how it works to anyone that has ever had an encounter, like, with another person of the opposite or same sex or whatever you're fucking attracted to. If you've ever been hit on, or if you've ever had that, you know, if you've gotten to that point in your life, that's not how it fucking works. And so he beats him, and it turns out that the big Martian dude is actually nice and soft, and he actually loves to read, and the entire society, everyone is just an idiot except for the big guy that everyone thought was stupid. And so while this is happening, the other Martians that got pissed and put everyone in prison went to the ship, and I kid you fucking not, this is what they do. They go to the ship in their crystal spaceship, which before it's like, these people are literally using spears. They don't have guns, but they have some kind of crystal spaceship, and they use this crystal spaceship to fly into outer space to go and get on the Cerritos. And what do they start doing on there? Let's run around and let's hit people with our spears, and let's start doing crystal graffiti all over the ship and all over the walls. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck is this shit? And they're just going rabid. And I'm like, is this an analogy for meth? Like, is this crystal meth? They're so obsessed. And I'm just like, it really is. It's like only only freaking drug addicts act the way that they're acting. It's like, you literally are coming on a fucking starship and you want crystals? They have fucking replicators. Go replicate some. Go steal some technology. You're looting a ship. But no, all they want to do is do graffiti. And it's like, oh, so you tried it. So these are the crystals. So these are the crystal meth heads. And then the other aliens, that was the little joke that they had, like wood with a leaf on it. So those are like the pot heads. Great. Fucking original. Really? Really, this shit isn't funny. It's not funny, and it's completely transparent. So while they're going apeshit all over the ship, purple hair dude is like, da-da-da-da-da, let me erase some of this graffiti, gets attacked by the crystal people, goes up to the freaking deck, sees that the captain is running around like crazy because everyone is on this strict time limit to get everything done, and everyone is passed out because they're so exhausted from this strict time limit that she put it in because the purple hair spilled the beans about how they were, lying about how long it took them to do something so they could have extra time to chill. And so then she realizes, or they have this little conversation, and she's like, you're right, people don't need to be on a time limit, and they have this heart-to-heart, and it's supposed to be heartwarming, and then she makes this rule in his name, where it's like, oh yeah, if any Starfleet officers shouldn't have to follow rules. So, even though I'm this low-level captain, I'm getting this implemented in all of Starfleet. And so this rule basically means, hey, if you feel like it, you don't gotta follow the rule. If it goes against, like, A, B, and C, if you feel like this rule is wrong, you don't have to fucking follow it. And it's like, what the point? What the fuck is the point of being in Starfleet? If you don't want to follow rules, guess what? You want to pull that shit in the fucking military? And it doesn't even have to be in the United States of America military. Go into any other fucking military system in the fucking world. That shit is not going to fucking fly. It's like, okay, so if somebody defies Starfleet, so let's say they're making first contact or they're avoiding making first contact and somebody breaks the prime directive, and they can say, oh yeah, well, I was following that rule, so I technically didn't do anything wrong. Maybe they're in the middle, they're aggressive negotiations, to use a thing from Star Wars. Maybe they're doing something and somebody kills someone, and even though Starfleet is technically, unless you're under direct orders, or it's a life and death situation and you're just trying to save someone, very rarely can a Starfleet officer get away with killing someone and not get that on the record or not get reprimanded. Very limited circumstances is that okay, or will that get a pass? And self-defense is one of them. But let's say they're just going and they're just walking and they're alien ship or alien cave or something, they come into an alien and they just kill him, and it's like, what, why the fuck did you do that? And it's like, oh, court-martial, you're fucking out of Starfleet. And they're like, no, I was following that rule. Technically, I don't have to follow the rules if I don't have to, and there's a rule in the book now. And it's like, oh my god, do they not understand the implications of that rule? Obviously they fucking don't. Who the fuck wrote this shit? It's absolute dog shit. It's garbage. You just broke all of Starfleet with that one fucking rule. I don't think that they understand how detrimental that was. And the way that they worded it, the way that they set it up, and then, of course, the guy that's the purple hair dude, he's like, oh no, this is all for people that slack. And it's like, no, it's not just that. It literally says, if you feel like you don't want to follow the rules, then don't do it. You're allowed to break the rules. And I'm like, oh my god. And it's like, okay, on some level, they're trying to get around, oh yeah, morally, if you disagree with it, then, see where, I'm like, you have to get down very specifically. It's like, if you feel like this is not the right amount of time, then talk to your superior officer and get it rescheduled. If you're trying to do something like this, in this military-like system that Starfleet is, this is not the way the rules would be getting made. It is not how it works. Me with a basic understanding of the way military works can fucking tell you that. Some random captain on some random ship in the Federation, that it's not how it fucking works. Oh, shoot. It's not how it fucking works. And they just did that. So instead of saying, hey, everyone has a conscience, and you can tell the captain, hey, I didn't follow that rule because of my conscience, and here is the explanation as to why. Like a normal fucking person with a brain, like anyone that would be in Starfleet that has a brain on their fucking, or in their fucking head, would know. But no, let's just do this new rule that breaks everything. Everything. Anything that you can get over. My brain just hurts. And so, oh my god. So they get off the crystal planet and they get back on the ship, and then there's a weird, awkward, trying to force sexual tension. You think that the first officer and the Mariner chick are gonna kiss, and then he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna, you're gonna do a report, and I'm gonna get, kicked out of Starfleet because I stabbed you in the foot. And she's like, nah, I'm not gonna write a report. And then he's like, okay, into the brig, because you didn't listen to me when I said roll up your fucking sleeves. And then they start fighting, and then she's trying to beat him up as the security pull her away. And then he's like, oh yeah, that was kind of hot. And I'm like, so, if this is for children, not only have you encouraged, an immense amount of violence, you also have shown that, okay, well, guess what? Rules, fuck them. In this situation, okay, you should be turned on by somebody that is physically violent to you. That is a great thing to teach children, said no one fucking ever. Who the fuck wrote this shit? I didn't think it could get any worse. And then it did. It did. I'm not even lying. This shit's fucking real. You can go out and you can watch this episode and you can see it. What the fuck did I just watch? So, that's my review of this episode. I honestly don't know at this point how it could possibly get any fucking worse, but I guarantee you it will. I'm sorry this review is really long, but there was a lot of shit to cover in this shit show that is not Star Trek. So everyone, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and help my channel and help spread the word on what a fucking shit show this catastrophe is. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm out of breath. And, so everyone, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hopefully it's a lot better than mine, after watching this shit. And until next time, everyone, may the Force be with you, because we are really, really, really gonna need it. Bye, everyone.